So this is the final application that we are going to build, which is a vowel counter application. So when we enter our text here like hello, and if I click on this count vowels, then you can see it has two vowels, that is E and O. And if I enter a multi-line text, this is a text, and if I enter again, means click on this button, so you can see it has three vowels, which is I, and E. So this is the application that we are going to build. This particular is actually a Grammarly plugin that I use for the text autocorrection purpose, so ignore this one. So we are going to develop this one. So first you need to open your Visual Studio. I have already done that, and here I will be going to create a new folder, and inside I am just going to click on day 1 and project, which is going to be our vowel calculator, or I can say that vowel counter, which is a more meaningful name. And this is going to be day 1, and I also want to preserve it with 1, means adding a 1. So this will be the naming that I will be using, which is vowel counter, and I'm going to press the enter. And inside of that we need to create a new file, which is index.html. Then we need to create a style.css file for the styling of the app, and then I'm going to create the app.js. You can name it script.js as well. Then the boilerplate code, which is, and pressing the enter, and I'm also going to increase the zoom so that you can see it more clearly. Like now this is the perfect zoom, and here I'm going to rename the title as vowel counter. Okay, and that's it. I think I need to link it with the CSS tag, which is ref tag, so I'm going to name it as style.css. And then we need to specify the script tag as well. So this is a script tag src, and here I'm going to type the app.js. So everything is done. It's time to actually see whether the things are working perfectly. So first I'm going to type the hello. So hello, not hiki, it's hello, and now I'm going to launch the application. So see that whether it's actually launched or not. So you can see hello is actually printed. This is the application that we are going to develop, and this is the main in which I'm going to teach you the step-by-step code procedure. So I'm going to just simply minimize it, and here actually first we have to add some HTML elements. So first I'm going to remove this hello world heading tag, and then here first I'm going to create a div tag, and inside of this we are going to add the other elements of the HTML. So the first element is actually we need a h1, and it's going to have the heading of the vowel counter. So this is a counter hour, and then the main input type, which is a text area, we are going to use it, and it's going to have the name. So we are going to remove the name and columns and rows. These are actually not required because I'm going to remove it, and also I'm going to remove this one. Also I'm going to click on there so that you can see things more clearly. So here is the text area, and inside of this id I will be adding an input text, which is a id I'm going to specify, and then I need to provide the placeholder text, which is enter your text. Okay, so now finally done, and then we need to specify the button. So the button is actually, we're going to provide it here on click event. So we have to provide the on click, and inside of this on click we need to call a function, but we are going to specify it after some time. First we need to type it here a text of the button, which is count vowels. Okay, and then after that, for displaying the result, which is this result total vowels, for that we need to add a paragraph element. So I'm going to add p tag, and inside of this we have to specify id equal to, and we are going to specify the result as a id. Alright, so this is what we have done so far. So let me see whether it's actually working or not. Means see the output of the screen. Definitely it's going to work because HTML doesn't give so much error. Okay, so I'm going to click on this port disposing, and then I'm again going to click on this live. So this is the final app. You can see vowel counter, we have our text area, and we have our button. And yes, this is all three elements. Where is the paragraph type? Because right now inside the paragraph we have enter nothing. You can see here inside the paragraph we have enter nothing, so I'm just going to add para, or I can say that the result, to see whether it's also exist. save it, and you can see here is our paragraph. Okay, so now it's time for the CSS part. So first I'm going to target the div tag. So div, because there is only one div, so I'm directly using the selector, which is a tag name selector. If you have multiple divs, then definitely you need to use a class selector. Right now it has only one div, and inside of this we have these 4 elements. So that is why I'm directly styling with the div tag. So first thing, I need to provide a nice background color. So this is our background color, and it's going to like I'm actually going with the default one, which is golden road. So this is the color we have going to use. Then we need to specify a box shadow. It's going to like 2 pixel. This styling is just a very simple styling. You can modify it into very greater one if you want. Then I'm going to specify the color, which is 1313, which is just for black, a little bit of black box shadow. Then max width, so that we can center the layout, means our div should be in the center side. And then when you specify the border radius, so border radius is going to be 10 pixel, so that we get some little round edges of the border. And then we have to specify the margin, so margin is going to 0, and then we need to specify the auto, then it will be displayed inside the center of the screen. Then we need to specify the height, so height is going to be like 300 pixels, otherwise it is going to be look like very small. Then I'm going to specify the padding as well, which is going to be like 20 pixel, or I can specify that 2 pixel for the first time. So let's see how it's actually working. So you can see this is our final product, and right now you can see this is our div, almost looks like the same. So now it's time to style this our text area. Okay, so coming back to the HTML part, means the CSS part, Visual Studio Code. So first I'm going to specify the h1 tag. Right now we have only one h1 tag, so I'm going to directly specify the code for this one h1 tag. And here I'm going to specify the color. So color is going to be like hashtag 333, and for the gray. And then we need to specify the font size. So font size I'm going to specify 32 pixel. And after that we need to specify the styling for the text area. We have a single element text area, so I can do that by with the name of the tag. Width, so width is going to be like 300 pixel. Just need to specify the width smaller than the main container, which is a div. So if it has 500 pixel, then need to specify 300. If we specify like more than this 500 pixel, then it's go actually out of the boundary of the div tag. So that is why we need to specify a small value here inside the text area. And then the height, so height is also I'm going to specify 100 pixel, or you can specify the 101 if you actually want a round figure. Then margin, so margin from top is going to be like 10 pixel, and the rest of them is going to be auto. And after that I'm going to specify the display property, display, and here I'm going to use it as a block element. So if I not use a block, right now you can see if I just simply save it and just go to, then you can see both of these two elements are coming one after the other, because this is actually not a block element. Okay, so we need to convert it into block. So that is the reason we need to specify here display, or whatever is display is going to be like block. And once I did that, you can see now they are coming one after the other in a form of row-like structure. So it's actually occupying the whole width of the container. Okay, and after that just make the indentation properly. Then font size, so the font size is going to be like 24 pixel. The content, this font size is for the content inside this particular text area. Okay, and then we need to specify the padding. So padding is going to be like 10 pixel. So right now you can see it's actually this is a padding between the edge and the placeholder text. So if I increase the padding to like 100, then you can see the very different result. You can see it's actually not looking good, I will say. Just I'm experimenting with the code a little bit. So if you want to make changes, then this is the necessary things you can do. Then border radius, so it's actually having like 5 pixel border radius. Now let's see how it looks like. So it looks like great. Okay, now the padding is actually not looking good for this one. I think the h1 element. Okay, so there is one property, I think there is one property is missing, and the font and the text line property. So if I use actually inside the div, I can do that one more thing, or I can just use the body tag here. Inside the body, I'm going to use a font family, which I forgot at the beginning, font family, and I'm going to use Arial, and inside of this I'm going to use a sans serif. Okay, and then I want text to be aligned at center. So if I do that, now you can see it's actually appearing at the center, and now it's looking a little bit more bold. The next thing is we need to actually specify the style inside this count variable. So coming back to our VS Code, and here now it's time to specify the button. So we're going to specify the first padding. So padding is going to be like 10 pixel, and then I need to specify the 20 pixels. Okay, and then I'm going to specify the background color. So background color is going to be hashtag 333, and after that I'm going to use color so that it gives us a nice white color. Then the border is going to be none, and then here I'm going to use a font weight so that it's looking a little bit bold. I'm going to use a 700, not 7000, 700, and then I'm going to specify the border radius going to be 5 pixel. Alright, then I need to specify the hover class as well, the pseudo element. So instead of that I will be using that hover. After that, so all properties will remain same. I'm going to remove the padding because I don't want to change the padding, and the thing that I want to change is just the color, and the only background color I want to change. So I'm going to give it a little bit of blue, this one, and the rest of things I'm going to remove it because I just want to change the background color. Save it and see the output you can see. And the one more thing, which is a cursor property. So I'm going to call it as cursor, which is cursor pointer. That's what I want to do. The next thing is for the result. So we have specified the ID, so I'm going to use the here result, like this our ID name. Actually, where is the ID name? So I'm going to use this result. So it's ID, that is why we need to specify the hashtag, which is a ID selector, not a hashtag, it's like a hash character. So font size is actually like 20 pixel, and I'm going to specify the margin top property is going to be like 20 pixel. I can just 20, and then I can provide the font weight to be like 500. Save it, and you can see the result. Okay, so it's having like a little bit. So what we can do, margin from top and font weight. So we can do it as font size is going to be 20 pixel and weight is going to be like 400, so that it will be inside this margin top. I'm going to remove the margin top to means change the margin top to 15 pixel. Now it's look great. Okay, so I think it's great, and just make it as 700 so that it looks a little bit more bold and crisp. So this is the design part is also done. It's time for the JavaScript part. So we need to call a function here, which is inside this element. So inside of this on click button, we need to call a function. So the name of our function is going to be like count vowels, and then we need to specify the brackets. Okay, so this function we need to define inside this app.js file. Alright, so here I will be typing the function, and inside this I'm going to call as count vowels and name the function, and then the start its block. Okay, so and then I need another function which is to check whether it's vowel or not. So it's vowel, and then the body of this function, and then this body is the block, and inside of this bracket, so the function I'm going to specify a char, and then I will be using the vowels, which is a var. So I'm using a var here, vowels, and then I'm going to specify the array, specify the semicolon. So inside of this array I'm going to write the vowels, that is used a, e, I, o, u, and then I will be enter here. Okay, so inside this, and then the last one is u, and after that we need to return this value, return, and here I will be specify the vowels dot include, and inside of this includes we need to specify the char. So our next step is to specify the code inside this count vowels function. So first we need to get the ID of this particular element. So I'm going to change the actually ID name here because right now it's input text which is all in small case. So I'm going to actually make it into camel case typing input text, and I'm just going to copy it and coming inside the app.js file. So here first I'm going to create a var variable of text, and here I'm going to type it here document.get element by id, then starting the bracket, and inside of the double quotes I'm going to paste the input text. So we are going to get the value, so here I need to specify the dot value. What actually is done is shortcut keys from the VS Code, it's actually a value. Then we to specify this semicolon, okay, and then save it. Then there is another variable which we need, which is a vowel count. We need a vowel count variable, and vowel count is equal to 0 because at the end it is actually a vowel counter application, so we need this vowel count variable. And after that we need to convert the text into lowercase because all the elements of the vowel are is actually in small case. You can see a, e, I, u, and you know that the JavaScript is a case sensitive language. So if we type the text in a uppercase like this, you can see, so it's actually going to give us a problem. So that is why we have to here actually specify the code, means convert it into smaller case. So I'm going to write it here, text is equal to text dot to lowercase, so lowercase, and then we need to terminate this code, which is necessary. If we don't specify in JavaScript, then it's better practice to specify. And after that we need to specify the for loop. So for, and here I need to first complete the body of the for loop. So first we need to specify a counter for this for loop which is started from the 0, because this entire content whatever we type inside this text area will become an array. So that is why we are going to traverse, means looping through that particular string. Bingo, or a string is actually a collection of characters which is traversable, which is actually an array. You can treat it as an array if you know the fundamentals of the programming. So that is why I just say you in the beginning of the course, you need some experience in JavaScript, otherwise this course will become a little bit difficult to follow along. Then here we need to run the loop according to the length of the array, means the length of the string. Okay, I can change, means use these terms interchangeably, which is text.length. Okay, make sure you didn't make any typo while typing the name of these properties, and then we need to increment the counter. Alright, so that is for the conditional part of the for loop, and inside of this for loop we need to create another variable, so which is a var variable, and then we need to use here a char is equal to text dot char add function, and you can see we need to specify here a counter variable I. So we are actually using the text char at I. So if there is a character present, whatever character will be present, every time we are going to compare it and initialize into this variable. Links, we are actually traversing the entire string that we are getting from the input text, and then we are saving that character by character inside this variable. Okay, and then after using this, we need to use this char, means this pass this char as a parameter to this is vowel function. So to do that, we have to here use an if condition. If is vowel, then we will be pass the, means we are going to pass every character to this is vowel function. If there is a match, then we are going to increment the value of this count variable. Okay, so I hope this will clear a little bit logic part of this particular project. So here I will be passing the char Okay, so now the char is passed. Then we need to start the body of this particular if block, and inside of this we need to increment the count variable, which is a vowel count plus plus. So if there is every time if is vowel, means suppose we just take this example as an input text character, although it is an id name, but still take it as an input, or I can just use a comment here, like if we type it here hello. So first, when the first time this particular code runs, it's actually going to pass the h to this variable. And how? Because the condition is 0. So this h is actually present at the 0th condition, means the 0th index, not condition, at the 0th index. So this will be passed to this variable, and the length of this entire loop is going to be 4. 0 to 4 is going to run it, because the indexing is started from 0. Okay, and then h will be passed to this function by using this condition is vowel, and then if it is a match, then it's going to increment the value of the counter, which will be only appear in case of E and O. You can just simply dry run this application by putting a 1 value and just dry run it into your notebook, means your pen and paper, and just try to run it. You will get complete idea how this code is working. So I think we get the value from this vowel count. Now we need to update the UI, because right now if we run this application, we are not getting any output in our project. We need to update the result variable. So to do that, we have to write a couple of more lines of code. So after the end of this loop, you can see I am actually at the outside of the loop. So here inside of this, we are going to create another variable, which is a result variable, where result is equal to document dot get element by id, and inside of this again we need to specify the code inside the brackets. So I'm going to inside the HTML part of the code, so I'm going to copy it, coming back to the app.js, and here I will be paste the result id. So now our variable is created, and after that we need to update this result variable. So I'm going to type it here, result dot text content. So we're going to use this property text content is equal to, so total vowels, we're going to update this result to total vowels and specify the colon. Then we need to concatenate with the plus, so I'm going to use a plus symbol, and then we need to specify our vowel count variable, which is this variable, and then specify the terminator operator. So that marks the end of the code for this count vowel function. If I save it and if I go back to my browser, and here I will be typing here hello and simply click on count, then you can see it's having 2 vowels. The result is actually printed. So if I type it here a long text, hello, my name is Vijay. So if I just simply click on count vowel, then you can say we have 7. So let me check. This is a vowel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 7 vowels. Okay, so leave a review. So are you leaving a review or not? Please leave a review, because it will definitely help to grow my course. If I click on here count vowels, then you can say we have 9. So again we are going to check. E and A is actually having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we have total here 9 vowels. So our project is working perfectly fine. So that marks the completion of this video. I hope this video is helpful for you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care and thank you for watching.